All right, so integers is our topic today. Integers are all of our numbers on the number line, all of the negative numbers and all of the positive numbers. So if we had a number line, it goes on forever in both directions, right? We got 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and all of the other numbers that are negative. -1, -2, -3, -4, -5. Okay, and it continues forever and ever. So essentially an integer are any of the numbers that fall on this number line, positive or negative. Some key terms to know are what's opposite. So if you think of opposite of up is down, what's the opposite of -5? Well, that would be +5. So when you're doing your practice problems, think about that. The opposite of -5 is +5. Okay, the opposite of +3 is -3. Okay, so it works both ways. It's a really good time to talk about what absolute value means. Because if we look at 5, this -5 is 5 spaces away from 0, right? And this number +5 is also, 5 spaces away from 0. Okay, so they have the same absolute value, or the space value, talking about distance from 0, okay? And you'll get some of that sometimes in your answer. It's talking about the distance away from 0, and so keep that in mind. It's how far away from 0 we're talking about. So when we have integers, we can add them, and we can subtract them, and we could multiply or divide them. And there's rules that are different for all of these. Multiply and divide have the same rules, but adding and subtracting do not. So we're going to start with how we add integers. There's two different ways. One way is with a number line, and the other way is with a chipboard. Okay? So we'll do that one second. We'll start with the number line. So on a number line, if I wanted to add -8 plus 5, okay? So I find my -8 on a number line. You can draw any number line you want and start with whatever number you want. If I start with -8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, -9, -10, -11, right? So I start here at -8, and I'm going to add 5 to it, 5 positive numbers. So if I'm moving positive, I'm going to be moving to the right, okay? So I move to the right 5 places. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And what do I land on? This would be -7, -6, -5, -4, -3. -8 plus 5 is -3. And that is a very simple way to use a number line. We could do it another way. We started with a negative number. Let's say I have -15 and I'm adding -4 to that. Okay. Again, I can move this however I want it. That'll be -15. Okay. And I want to add a -4. Which direction on this number line am I going to go? Before, if I was adding 5, I went to the right and I went positive. But now I'm adding a negative number. So I'm actually going to go to the left and get more negative. 4 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4. I end up right here. And that would be negative 14, negative 13, negative 12, negative 11. So negative, oh, I was counting wrong, excuse me. Negative 15, negative 16, negative 17, negative 18, negative 19, the next one would be negative 20, and so on. So if I'm getting more negative, negative 15 plus a negative 4 is negative 19. Okay? That is the number line. Really simple. Okay. Move this down a little bit. If I have a chipboard, this works a little bit different, and this is how we can use it in your class. You can actually print out red and black chips if you want. I'm actually just going to use positive and negative for right now. So these are going to be my positive red chips, or I'm sorry, black chips. And negative is going to be my red chips, okay? We can use the same questions that we did before, but what I want to, first we got to think about, what does a positive one and a negative one equal? If we add those together, what do we get? We're going to get 0, right? So keep that in mind. Putting together a positive and a negative give you 0. So if I want to draw this chipboard right here, I would do this in your notes when you have problems. And I'm going to write this same problem that we used up here, okay? Negative 8 plus 5. What does that equal? Well, I have 8 negative chips. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 negative chips. Okay, you guys can't see that yet. There we go. And then I have 5 positive chips. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. Now remember, a positive and a negative equals 0, essentially canceling each other out. So there's one negative pair or 0 pair. There's a second one, third, fourth. There's a 5th pair. Do I have any more positive chips over here? I don't. All I'm left with are 3 of the negative chips. So my answer is negative 3. All right. We can do it exactly the same with our other problem that we had. Negative 15 plus negative 4. So I start with my chipboard, write my problem up here. I'm going to start with my negative 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, and I'm adding to that 4 more negatives. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Do I have any 0 pairs or any of the positive and negatives that I can put together and cancel? I don't. So now I just need to count what's there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. All together, I get 19 negative chips. All right. You could get a little bit quicker if you wanted. And if I had negative 7 plus 4, if I have 7 negatives, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of them, after I've done this a while, I use a shortcut and I just turn them into positives. And then I know those are gone because they canceled and I'm left with the 3 negatives. I think if you're starting off, this is probably the best way to go. And then when you start working with it and you need to do smaller problems, you know, you can make your hash marks and then cross them off and know what's left. Okay, but that is how you use a chipboard. All right.